Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All, the series in which we talk about political happenings in the universe. There's something on my eyeball, and it is disrupting me, so I ruined the intro. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Anyway, so Justin Amash. Uh, he's doing it. He's going for the Libertarianism, ticket. Of course, is he technically I don't think he's a libertarian yet. I think he's just an independent, though. I mean, that's obviously an easy switch and it doesn't really matter. But this is something that we saw coming a while ago. I kind of forgot about it, but it's happening. So I think out of anyone to run for the libertarian ticket, Justin Amash may be the most timely and potential to catch on, because he does fulfill that niche, and he does have the cred, and he's a dumbass. Like, this has to be stipulated straight up, but he's a fucking moron. But he does have that cred of quitting the Republican Party over the impeachment fiasco. And of course, during the impeachment hearing, when all the Republicans were like, not a single Republican is voting in favor of impeachment, just ignoring the fact that they threw Justin Amash out of the party for not marching in fucking lockstep with the fucking narrative. So I thought that was really bizarre when Kevin McCarthy was saying that on the House floor. But so, I mean, he's got the cred. Now, a lot of people are saying that because we have two far-right conservatives as the party nominees, Biden on one hand and Trump on the other, that this could draw equally from both of them in the same sense that Johnson did, which, by the way, as you can see, this tweet is really funny. I'm just going to read this real quick. Mr. Amash, one important test question, sir. What is Aleppo? And then Gary Johnson replies with, aw, geez. I thought that was fucking hilarious. In fact, I'm going to retweet it because it's that funny. But yeah, Gary Johnson famously said, now what is Aleppo? During the 2016 cycle when he was polling at like anywhere between, it was like 10 to 14%. He was right on that weird 15% threshold for debate, getting in on those. So I remember that was huge at the time, and he was, starting to gain traction, and then he got more TV appearances, and then everyone realized that he's a fucking moron. And, in 2016, that was my first presidential election. So it was like, after Bernie lost the primary, I was like, all right, let's look at the Green and the Libertarian Party, see what they both have to offer. Because at that point, I was like, very apolitical, I was like leaning libertarian because like a person on YouTube I liked said that libertarianism was cool or something, and I was very, very stupid at the time. So, around this time I was watching all the Gary Johnson appearances because he started, doing pretty well in the polling, and then he just completely made a fool of himself. So I just, it's hilarious, and at least he has a good sense of humor about it. But I do think Justin Amash could shake up this race. I do think. And of course we have the wild card of Jesse Ventura running for Green Party, which is not something I made a video about yet. I'm waiting for anything official for that. But this could totally shake up the dynamics of the race. Not too much. I think it's still a Biden and Trump race, or whoever the Democrats will switch him out for in July. Whatever. I think that's still going to be the main thing. But I can totally see third parties taking up 10 to 15% total this time around. I think they gained 8% of the national vote last time, the Libertarian and the Greens. I could see them, probably doubling that this time around again, just because we have literally rapist A versus rapist B. And I mean, Justin Amash may be a dumb motherfucker, and I will definitely not vote for him, but as far as if I'm going to take the full doomer perspective, which I'm still balancing on, I'm not sure if I'm a full doomer yet, but if we're taking the pure, just get the popcorn out and have a good time watching the TV, I think Justin Amash being in the race is definitely going to be very interesting. Especially because, Vermin Supreme seems kind of cool. As far as libertarians go, he doesn't seem that crazy. And really the barometer for me saying that is because he said trans rights at some point. So obviously he can't be completely psychotic. But, at the same time, he's got no name recognition and he's not mainstream whatsoever. Whereas Justin Amash, on the other hand, he could. Like that's the thing is, I've seen him speak. My nose is clogged for some reason. I've seen him speak, and he does come across as very eloquent in his speech. Now, again, if you analyze any of the stupid shit that he says, chances are he's a fucking idiot, right? but at least he comes off eloquent. He's not like Governor Gary Johnson pretending to have a fucking heart attack and collapsing, which is really funny. That made me want to vote for him even more. Look that video up. Gary Johnson fakes heart attack. It's amazing. And also, you know, Gary Johnson, I was not a weeder back in 2016, but I wish I was, because honestly, I can empathize with Gary Johnson's plight. You know, I just thought I was running third party, and then people started paying attention to me, and all of a sudden people are looking at me. Oops, right? Like, it's one of those situations. But yeah, I think this is going to be really fun. I think this is going to make the race a little bit more interesting. And I'm down. I don't give a shit, you know. I think it's imperative that Trump is not reelected, but at the same time, you know, it really is one of those things where it doesn't matter who's in the race. It doesn't matter. What matters is how coronavirus affects the country until November. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Literally, like, nothing else matters. Justin Amash could go in there, and there's like a giant economic collapse or whatever, and then, like, you know, like, the third parties could get 0% of the vote because everyone just, like, either doesn't vote or votes for Biden out of fear, or says, you know, something turns around and everyone goes to like, who knows? Anything can happen. This is definitely going to be interesting, and shout out to Gary Johnson for having a sense of humor. I'm definitely going to keep following this. I really wish John McAfee I wish he took this a little bit more seriously, because he was really funny, and I was totally planning, like, this time last year, I was totally planning on covering him more on the channel, but, you know, he's just so wacky, and then he had this whole thing where he got onto a boat and ran away from the country, from the IRS or whatever, and then I was just like, alright, this is getting a little bit too much, and he's not talking about presidential stuff anymore. But maybe if someone has any good John McAfee cringe, let me know. But either way, Justin Amash hopping in. Let's see how this goes.